Jason, what have the last couple of weeks been like since the season ended?
To be honest with you, after the last game against Rochester, we gave them 3 days off and straight back in training. We played a little inter-squad game against the first team today. Just trying to keep the boys ticking over. It's still part of youth development in order to try and progress the players forward. So we're trying to work on specific things, and as far as we're concerned, the preparations have already begun for next year.
And what are your overall thoughts on how this season went?
This season was mixed emotions for me, for sure. In terms of the players, the amount of the experience that they've gotten, young players. A stat came out that we were the youngest team in the entire league. So I think that bodes well for the future. It's part of our club philosophy that we want to give the young players a chance. And I'm not just talking 10, 15-minute appearances here and there, but full starts, full games, on the road, at home. So that's been a very huge plus for us. In terms of results, we've not gotten the results that we've wanted. Obviously we would like to win as many games as possible. But from our perspective, it's about development and getting the players to progress in their careers as players. My job essentially is to move as many players forward to the first team as possible. So all in all, we've shown some good flashes. We've gone through moments where we were scoring goals. We've gone through moments where we weren't scoring goals and creating chances. We went through times where we were keeping clean sheets, but we couldn't score goals. So, it's not uncommon for young players where you have, ups and downs constantly throughout the season.
And have you talked to the players individually and kind of breaking down their seasons and talk to them and telling them what they want, what you want them to work on going forward?
Yeah, we'll continue to have discussions over the off season. We have not started our 1v1 player interviews to finish off the season with the players, but that will be happening over the next couple of weeks. They'll know exactly what their targets are, where they need to improve, with a series of video clips as well that has kind of broken down their entire season, and just things that they can work on in the off season to try and get better. Every day we need to be trying to get better, and that's our mindset.
You've mentioned many times that the team needs consistency and they need to finish their chances. Do you think nearing the end of the season they kind of worked on that?
I think we were getting better in terms of our overall play. You look at the last game of the season against Rochester, a team that was the best in the Eastern Conference, best in the entire league regular season, and we played with 6, 7 really, really young players. And you can see that they matched it up until the 70th minute. Couple moments of concentration, as I've said, is kind of a reoccurring theme throughout the season, and those can decide football games. But it's young players, and you can see that that level of concentration to maintain it for 90 minutes is something that we need to improve on individually and collectively. When we can do that, we can match any team in the league. Well, certainly the Eastern Conference is what we've competed against, but knowing Rochester's from the Eastern Conference and they're the best team in the league, it kind of gives us some confidence.
How do you think the younger players did in the road play?
I thought it was fantastic, the amount of opportunities that they got. They showed that they could handle the level of football for sure. I don't question that. Moving forward, I'll put another young player in, no problem. So I thought overall they handled it. You can also see when the level of the team isn't possibly performing and then a player has one bad game, then you just have to put an arm around them and let them know it's not the end of the world and show them where they can improve, and maybe you need to take them out of the team. That's happened with Liam Fraser. It's happened with Gabby Boaki. It's happened with Malik Johnson, just to name a few. So it's not always that their trending level will just continue to rise straight throughout their career. They go up a few, maybe have a little bit of a dip, then you got to just continue to work with them and then give them another opportunity to see how they handle it. So, but I think the process is fantastic.
And what are your expectations for next year?
Next year is a key year for us. You're going into sort of 12, 18 months, working into 24 months, and you want to see players progressing. I want to see players knocking on the door of the first team, getting into preseason, possibly getting into MLS games. That's what it's about. So that's the pressure that I put myself under, and I hope the players put themselves under that type of pressure as well, because It's about development. It's about progressing your career. You should not be happy that you're just playing in the USL level. No. There's always got to be another level that you want to chase. And if you get complacent, then you stand still. Doesn't matter what position you are in life. So that's the mindset.
Jason, a lot of the players last season spent time in League One Ontario, and the players you called up through the season, League One Ontario and the PDL this season. Do you find that their time this year in the USL will prepare them better for next season and the competition level, the professional environment?
1,000%. Like they know what the travel is going to be all about. They're going to know what it's like to go to Richmond and then travel on a bus for 4 hours to get to Wilmington, and then having to perform the next day. Excuse me. They're going to understand the level of the football that we're looking to play, both home and away. The physicality of the league, playing in the hot months of the summer at 5 o'clock in the afternoon against quality opposition. So all these things are boxes that they will have ticked, and I think it will hold them in good stead as they move forward into next season. I think the time in the League One has helped them, but it's not prepared them completely for what was in store for them, for sure. Just in terms of you're playing a higher level of players, not just physically, technically, tactically. All these things are coming into consideration. So, the experience that they got though this year will do them some good for sure.
And a lot of people look at the results of the team and the standings. They might not think it was a successful season so much. And you talk about development and the importance of that. And we saw a lot of guys called up to Canada. We have 5 players playing in the U23. We had Jordan Hamilton.
Yes.
Sorry, Jay. Jordan Hamilton and Manny Aparicio recently called up to Canada for Ghana. Do you see those things as evidence of the development of the team, and not so much of the results of the team, more so of the players developing?
Yeah, for sure. It's I always keep preaching. It's the process. How do we get the players to understand better? How do we get them to perform better on a match day situation? You look at the players, the amount of players that got called up to play against Man City, and then even more got to play against Sunderland with the first team. And the thing that was pleasing for me was that they understood how the first team wanted to play. Yes, they made some mistakes, as they will do, but they didn't look way out of place, and that's important. I'm still mindful of the fact, I understand that friendlies are completely different than MLS play. Playing against those games, you tend to have a little bit more space than the MLS games, 1,000%. But the fact was they understood how to play in that environment, and I think that's important moving forward. We just have to get them to a level where they can compete, not only on the training pitch day in and day out, to compete with the MLS, the first team, as well as the MLS level. That's our objective. So, like you said, we don't want to pat ourselves on the back, but we've done decent things over the season, ups and downs for sure. Can it get better? Yes, it can get better, and we're hopeful that it will.